Welcome, truth seekers and cosmic explorers, to an extraordinary journey through the unknown. Today, we delve into the most mysterious and chilling chapters of human encounters with the extraterrestrial. From unexplained phenomena to spine-tingling abductions, our countdown of the top 10 alien encounters will take you to the edges of reality and beyond. These stories, known for their intrigue and eeriness, have captivated the minds of many, stirring questions about what really lies beyond our earthly realm. So brace yourselves as we embark on this journey, exploring the best-known tales of close encounters that continue to mystify and haunt us. Are you ready to uncover the secrets of the cosmos? Let the countdown begin. Number 10 in our journey through the most astonishing alien encounters brings us to a small farmhouse in Christian County, Kentucky. This is the tale of the Kelly Hopkinsville encounter, also called the Hopkinsville Goblin Case, a story that has fascinated UFO enthusiasts and skeptics alike since that fateful night in 1955. On the evening of August 21st, 5 adults and 7 children faced an experience that defied explanation. Their claims of an invasion by otherworldly beings would soon become a seminal case in UFO history. The beings they encountered were unlike any other reported before. Small in stature, about 2 to 4 feet tall, these entities were described as having large pointed ears, claw-like hands, and eyes that glowed with a yellowish hue. Their spindly legs added to their eerie appearance, making them a subject of nightmares. The family's harrowing ordeal lasted nearly 4 hours, a siege where these mysterious creatures repeatedly appeared at doorways and windows, only to be repelled by gunfire. This otherworldly encounter didn't just stay within the confines of rural Kentucky. It rippled out into popular culture, inspiring films like Critters and even a character in the Pokemon universe, Sableye. It also popularized the term Little Green Men, a lasting legacy in alien lore. And even Steven Spielberg drew inspiration from the encounter as he made E.T. Despite investigations by police, skeptics, and even the Air Force, the truth behind the Kelly Hopkinsville encounter remains shrouded in mystery. Was it a case of misidentification, a collective hallucination, or something far beyond our current understanding? Today, the original farmhouse no longer stands, but the story endures, attracting UFO enthusiasts and the curious. The local community even commemorates this enigmatic event with the annual Little Green Men Days festival, celebrating one of the most intriguing and debated encounters in UFO history. As we explore the enigmatic and unexplained, the Kelly Hopkinsville encounter reminds us that the universe is full of mysteries. Stay with us as we delve deeper into the unknown, uncovering more of the most compelling and unexplained alien encounters in our history. Number 9 in our countdown of extraordinary alien abduction stories brings us to the tale of Antonio Villas-Boas, a 23-year-old Brazilian farmer. His encounter in 1957 near São Francisco de Sales, Brazil, stands as one of the most detailed and controversial in UFO history. On the night of October 16th, while working in his fields, Boas saw what he first thought was a red star. This star dramatically changed, revealing itself as an egg-shaped aerial craft with a rotating red light descending towards him. Captured by small humanoid figures in gray coveralls, Boas was taken aboard their spacecraft. Inside, he was subjected to a bizarre sequence of events. Stripped and covered with a strange gel, Boas was then exposed to a gas that made him violently ill. The most startling moment came when Boas encountered a female humanoid. She was as tall as his captors, with a small, pointed chin, large blue cat-like eyes, long white hair, and distinctively red underarm and pubic hair. Boas described a strong attraction to her, leading to a sexual encounter. This encounter, marked by a peculiar intimacy where the female did not kiss him but nipped him on the chin, instead suggested a motive of cross-species breeding. After the act, the female's actions suggested something extraordinary. She smiled, rubbed her belly, and gestured upwards, which Boas interpreted as her indicating that she would raise their child in space. Boas described feeling used, akin to a good stallion for the humanoids, a sentiment that added a complex emotional layer to his account. Upon his release, Boas found that 4 hours had passed. His story, later investigated by journalist José Martins and Dr. Olavo Fontes, was met with both skepticism and fascination. Boas suffered physical symptoms resembling radiation exposure, lending a perplexing layer of credibility to his account. Adding another layer to the Antonio Villas-Boas abduction saga, it was reported that in 1958, Villas-Boas was taken to the United States for a series of clandestine interrogations. Governmental authorities, supposedly involving military and NASA personnel, conducted these sessions. During these interrogations, Villas-Boas was subjected to polygraph tests and administered truth serum drugs. Such intensive and invasive procedures, as alleged, might have had lasting impacts on his health, further deepening the mystery and the potential ramifications of his extraordinary encounter. Despite skepticism and debate, Boas never wavered in his account, maintaining its truth until his death in 1991. The Antonio Villas-Boas encounter, whether a genuine extraterrestrial abduction, a hallucination, or a fabrication, remains a seminal and controversial chapter in UFO history. In the world of alien abduction stories, few are as famous or as controversial as the experiences of Whitley Strieber, an American author. His encounter, detailed in his best-selling book Communion, presents a profound and disturbing account of alien abduction that has captivated readers and skeptics alike. The year is 1985. Strieber is at his cabin in upstate New York, spending time over the Christmas holiday. It's December 26th when the inexplicable happens. Strieber wakes up in the middle of the night, feeling an odd sensation and realizing he's not alone. In his detailed account, Strieber describes being abducted by non-human entities. These beings vary in appearance, including the typical gray alien with large black eyes and others that are more bizarre and indescribable. He recounts undergoing invasive medical procedures and experiencing a range of emotions from terror to transcendental experiences. Following the encounter, Strieber struggles with his reality. He undergoes hypnosis, where he recalls more details of the abduction. Strieber's Communion, published in 1987, becomes a cultural phenomenon. The book's cover, featuring a haunting depiction of an alien entity, becomes iconic. Strieber does not assert that these beings are extraterrestrial. Instead, he explores various possibilities, including interdimensional entities or even something deeply rooted in the human psyche. The book sparks a surge in public interest in the alien abduction phenomenon. Strieber, once a writer of horror novels, becomes a central figure in ufology circles. His story resonates with many who claim similar experiences, making Communion a touchstone for the alien abduction narrative. Critics and skeptics question Strieber's account, pointing to the lack of physical evidence and suggesting psychological explanations. Yet, the impact of Strieber's story on popular culture is undeniable, blurring the lines between personal experience, science fiction, and spiritual exploration. Whitley Strieber's encounter, whether viewed as a true account of alien contact or a psychological phenomenon, remains one of the most influential and debated abduction stories in history. Number 7 in our countdown takes us to the serene expanse of Maine's Allagash Waterway, where in 1976, a camping trip for 4 friends, Charlie Foltz, Chuck Ruck, and twins Jack and Jim Weiner, would transform into a cornerstone of alien abduction lore. Their peaceful journey took a turn one night when they encountered a peculiar pulsating light in the sky, challenging their understanding of the ordinary. The enigma deepened a few nights later during a fishing excursion as they attempted to communicate with the light, only to be engulfed in its brilliant glow, leading to fragmented memories of the event. Tormented by nightmares of alien beings and invasive procedures, the four sought psychiatric help, where under hypnosis they revealed eerily similar accounts of their abduction. During their hypnosis sessions, each of the four men shared strikingly similar experiences. They recounted being taken into a spacecraft by extraterrestrial entities. These aliens were described as the archetypal Greys, diminutive in stature, possessing oversized heads and expressionless black eyes. The men remembered undergoing medical examinations, feeling a profound sense of helplessness throughout the ordeal. Their story, known as the Allagash Abductions, garnered attention for its detailed, consistent accounts under hypnosis, sparking debates between believers and skeptics. Over the years, despite undergoing polygraph tests and further hypnosis, the men remained steadfast in their narrative, a narrative that remains one of the most profound in the realm of UFO encounters. The Allagash abductions continue to be a testament to the unexplained and unresolved mysteries of our world, leaving us to ponder the truth behind this extraordinary experience. Ranking at number 6 in our top 10 alien abduction stories is the Pascagoula abduction, an event that has perplexed UFO enthusiasts and skeptics for decades. On the evening of October 11th, 1973, Charles Hickson, a 42-year-old shipyard worker, and Calvin Parker, a 19-year-old apprentice, were fishing off a pier on the Pascagoula River's banks in Mississippi. Their ordinary fishing trip took a dramatic turn when they heard a strange whirring sound, accompanied by two flashing blue lights. An oval-shaped craft, approximately 30-40 feet across and 8-10 feet high, appeared before them. The craft was silent and hovered just above the ground. Hickson and Parker described the appearance of three bizarre entities from the craft. These beings had robotic slit-like mouths and crab-like pincers and moved in a jerky, robotic manner. They had no visible eyes, and their skin appeared wrinkled. Most startlingly, they seemed to float above the ground, approaching the men silently. Hickson and Parker claimed they were paralyzed and levitated aboard the spacecraft. Inside, they were examined by a mechanical eye-like device. This examination felt invasive and terrifying, leaving them in a state of profound shock. After the incident, Hickson and Parker were taken to the Jackson County Sheriff's Office. Skeptical of their story, the sheriff secretly recorded their conversation, hoping to catch them in a hoax. Instead, the recording captured their genuine fear and confusion as they discussed their experience with awe and terror. This incident received national attention, with Hickson becoming a prominent figure in the UFO community, giving interviews, lectures, and even publishing a book, UFO Contact at Pascagoula. Parker, on the other hand, remained mostly silent for years until he published his book, Pascagoula, The Closest Encounter My Story, in 2018, offering a detailed account of the event and its impact on his life. The Pascagoula abduction was met with skepticism, with some experts suggesting hallucinations or an elaborate hoax. Notably, aviation journalist and UFO skeptic Philip J. Klass found discrepancies in Hickson's story and noted his refusal to take a polygraph exam conducted by an experienced examiner. Skeptical investigator Joe Nichols suggested that Hickson might have experienced a hypnagogic waking dream state, influencing Parker's corroboration due to suggestibility. Despite skepticism, the detailed accounts, the emotional reactions of Hickson and Parker, and the secret recording lend a unique credibility to their story, making the Pascagoula abduction a fascinating and enduring mystery in UFO history. Ranking at number 5 in our top 10 alien abduction stories is the Travis Walton case of 1975, a tale enveloped in mystery and controversy. On the evening of November 5, 1975, Travis Walton, alongside crew members like Mike Rogers and Alan Dalis, was in the forests near Snowflake, Arizona. Their routine workday took a surreal turn upon encountering a brightly lit, saucer-shaped object in the sky. Driven by curiosity, Walton approached the UFO only to be struck down by a beam of light. In fear, his colleagues fled the scene. When they returned with authorities, Walton had vanished, leading to a massive search operation spearheaded by law enforcement. Suspicion quickly fell on the crew, with rumors circulating they might have harmed or even killed Walton. The situation strained relationships within the group, particularly for individuals like Dalis, who faced intense scrutiny. Despite these suspicions, the crew's accounts, corroborated by polygraph tests, began to shift public perception. 5 days later, Walton's re-emergence was as bewildering as his disappearance. He was found disoriented on a roadside, dehydrated but alive. Walton claimed to have been aboard the alien craft, describing encounters with large-eyed, bald beings, similar to those in other abduction cases. His disorienting and terrifying experience aboard the spacecraft with these creatures and human-like figures added a profound layer to his story. The incident was immortalized in Walton's 1978 book, The Walton Experience, and later in the 1993 film adaptation, Fire in the Sky. To this day, the Travis Walton abduction case remains a captivating subject in the UFO community, especially due to the striking similarities in alien descriptions across various accounts. As we venture further into these mystifying stories, make sure you're along for the ride. Click the subscribe button now and join us in unraveling the unknown. At number 4 in our top alien abduction stories is the intriguing Andreasen affair, a case that blends extraterrestrial encounters with spiritual elements, captivating UFO enthusiasts and skeptics alike. On a relatively warm evening for winter, January 25, 1967, in South Ashburnham, Massachusetts, Betty Andreasen experienced an event that would become a cornerstone of UFO lore. The story begins with a startling red light shining into her home, where Betty, along with her 7 children and parents, Wayno and Eva Aho, were gathered. This unexpected phenomenon marked the beginning of an extraordinary episode. Betty's father first noticed 5 unusual beings, described as short gray humanoids with large pear-shaped heads and wide eyes, approaching their house. This led to the family experiencing a state of suspended animation, and Betty being taken aboard a spacecraft. What makes Betty's account particularly intriguing is her series of detailed descriptions, enriched by her deep Christian faith, adding a theological perspective to her encounter. This story transcends mere UFO sightings, delving into the realms of spirituality and existential exploration. Raymond Fowler, a UFO researcher, played a pivotal role in bringing Betty's story to the public through his book, The Andreasen Affair. His detailed investigation provided a comprehensive account of Betty's experiences. Adding further credibility during subsequent years, Betty underwent hypnotherapy, recalling more details of her encounter. She described being placed in a trance, communicating telepathically with the aliens, and undergoing painful yet spiritually transformative experiments. Betty initially mistook the beings for angels, only to later discern their extraterrestrial nature. Remarkably, the Andreasen story has remained consistent over time, with her husband and daughter corroborating her accounts. Their sanity was affirmed by psychiatric evaluation, adding an intriguing layer of authenticity to their claims. Jules Vaillancourt, a mutual UFO network investigator who delved into the case, was particularly struck by Betty's ability to draw detailed images of the spacecraft and beings she encountered. This visual evidence, along with psychological stress evaluations, further bolstered the credibility of their extraordinary account. The Andreasson affair thus stands out as a unique blend of UFO encounter and spiritual journey, challenging us to contemplate the intersections between the known and the unknown, science and spirituality. It remains a profoundly impactful story within the UFO community, offering a distinctive perspective on the enigmatic phenomena of our universe. Ranked third in our top 10 list of alien abduction stories is the Manhattan abduction of Linda Napolitano, which remains a hallmark of mystery and controversy. This extraordinary event unfolded in the early hours of November 30th, 1989, in one of the world's busiest metropolises, New York City. Linda, a New York housewife living in Manhattan, reported a harrowing experience of being levitated from her bedroom window into a hovering UFO. This claim alone is startling, but what elevates the case are the corroborating accounts from unexpected witnesses. Two bodyguards assigned to protect Javier Pérez de Cuellar, the then Secretary General of the United Nations, allegedly witnessed this event. They described seeing Linda, accompanied by three bizarre figures, floating into a massive spacecraft above her apartment building. This case gained further credibility through the investigative efforts of Bud Hopkins, a renowned UFO researcher. Hopkins brought to light additional eyewitness accounts, including one from a retired telephone operator who thought she was witnessing a sci-fi movie shoot, and a New York Post truck driver who observed the event from the Brooklyn Bridge. One intriguing detail emerged when Linda underwent a medical examination. An X-ray revealed a strange object inside her nose, believed by Hopkins to be an alien device. This object mysteriously disappeared after another reported abduction. The involvement of high-profile individuals like Javier Pérez de Cuellar, albeit reluctantly, added a layer of complexity to the case. Despite his private acknowledgement of the event, Cuellar refrained from going public due to the sensitivity of his position. While skeptics dismissed the case, citing the lack of physical evidence and questioning the reliability of the witnesses, the Linda Napolitano affair stands as one of the most well-documented alien abduction stories. In 2022, this enduring intrigue was further highlighted in the documentary Linda Napolitano, The Alien Abduction of the Century, which delves into the complexities of her experience. Multiple independent witnesses, the high-profile nature of some involved, and the peculiarities surrounding the case continue to fuel debate and fascination within the UFO community and beyond. As we explore this case, the third on our top 10 list, we delve into a narrative that challenges our understanding of reality and confronts the enigma of extraterrestrial encounters in one of the world's most iconic cities. Coming in at number 2, just before we unveil our top alien abduction story, is the astonishing case of the Buff Ledge Camp abduction. This remarkable event, which still sends shivers down the spine of UFO enthusiasts, unfolded in the serene setting of Buff Ledge, a summer camp near Lake Champlain, Vermont, in the warm, fading light of August 7th, 1968. This was a time when the world was still reeling from the famous Betty and Barney Hill abduction, and New England was about to witness another extraordinary extraterrestrial encounter. Michael Lapp, a 16-year-old maintenance worker, and Janet Cornell, a 19-year-old water skiing instructor, were the unsuspecting participants in this otherworldly drama. On that fateful day, as the sun dipped below the horizon, bathing Lake Champlain in golden hues, Michael and Janet were enjoying the tranquility on the camp's dock. The camp was nearly deserted, with most attendees away at a swim meet. It was during this calm that the unimaginable happened. A bright light, initially mistaken for Venus, appeared in the sky. But far from a celestial showcase, this light began an unnerving descent towards Earth, transforming into a round, glowing object that soon flattened out as it approached. Michael, in awe, exclaimed, "Wow, Venus is falling," unaware of the true nature of the spectacle. This primary object then released 3 smaller lights, performing mind-bending aerial maneuvers over the lake. They moved with purpose, displaying zigzags, loops, and a descent like falling leaves. The main craft disappeared, leaving these 3 to captivate and terrify the young witnesses. As the objects formed a triangle, 2 retreated, leaving the 3rd to approach Michael and Janet. It was then that the extraordinary became the unbelievable. The craft hovered close enough for them to see its transparent dome and its 2 childlike occupants. Michael noticed their elongated necks, large heads without hair, and eyes that extended around the sides of their heads. He even experienced what he believed was telepathic communication with these beings. The climax of this encounter was as terrifying as it was mystifying. The craft emitted a beam of light, enveloping the pair. Michael's memory of seeing the bones in his hand, like an X-ray under this light, is chillingly vivid. They felt a sensation of floating, and then nothing. Their next memory was of staring at the object from the dock under a now pitch-black sky, with Janet in a trance-like state. The significance of this event wouldn't fully surface until years later. Plagued by disturbing dreams and a quest for understanding, Michael contacted the Center for UFO Studies a decade after the incident. Under the guidance of investigator Walter Webb, both Michael and Janet underwent hypnotic regression. Their separate recollections were strikingly similar, detailing an abduction, medical examinations aboard the craft, and descriptions of the alien beings that matched in eeriness and detail. Their accounts were later chronicled in Walter N. Webb's book, Encounter at Buff Ledge, A UFO Case History. Published in 1994 by the J. Allen Hynek Center for UFO Studies, this book delves deep into the investigation of this incredible incident. The Buff Ledge Camp abduction remains one of the most intriguing and well-documented cases of its kind. Despite skepticism surrounding the reliability of hypnotic regression, the consistency of Michael and Janet's accounts, and the corroboration by other camp members who witnessed strange lights that night add a layer of credibility to this unsettling tale. As we near the top of our countdown, the Buff Ledge Camp Abductions stands as a profound reminder of the mysteries that lie beyond our understanding, challenging our perception of reality and what might exist in the vastness of the cosmos. At number 1 on our list of the top 10 alien abductions is the Betty and Barney Hill abduction, a landmark case in UFO history. On the night of September 19th, 1961, Betty and Barney Hill's journey through the White Mountains of New Hampshire took an extraordinary turn. What began as a simple drive back to Portsmouth after a vacation transformed into one of the most famous and extensively documented cases of alleged alien abduction. The couple noticed a bright, erratically moving light in the sky, initially dismissed as a satellite or plane. However, it quickly became apparent that this was no ordinary celestial object as it descended towards them. Barney, peering through binoculars, observed a large, silent, disc-shaped craft with multicolored lights and rows of windows. What he saw next would haunt him: humanoid figures peering back. These beings, described under hypnosis, wore glossy black uniforms and caps, and their large, wraparound eyes held a terrifying, mesmerizing power. In a state of panic and fear, the Hills drove away, only to experience a buzzing sound and altered consciousness. The next thing they knew, they were 35 miles down the road with no memory of the intervening journey. Upon arriving home, they found inexplicable damages to their clothing and car, and their watches had stopped. Struggling to comprehend their experience, the Hills underwent psychiatric help. Through hypnosis with Dr. Benjamin Simon, they unearthed startlingly detailed recollections of being taken aboard the alien spacecraft. Under hypnosis, they recounted being examined by the non-human entities. Betty's sessions revealed a particularly vivid detail, a star map shown to her by the aliens, which she later sketched. This map became a crucial piece of evidence, analyzed and debated by astronomers and ufologists alike. Their story became public in 1965, first captivating the nation through a Boston newspaper article, then through the 1966 book The Interrupted Journey, and later through a television movie in 1975 titled The UFO Incident, starring James Earl Jones and Estelle Parsons as Barney and Betty Hill. This case catapulted the phenomenon of alien abduction into the public consciousness like never before. Skeptics have offered explanations ranging from natural phenomena to psychological stress, but for many, the Hill abduction remains a compelling case of possible extraterrestrial contact. This story, with its detailed accounts, medical records, and the enigmatic star map, continues to intrigue and challenge our understanding of the universe and the very possibility of life beyond Earth. If you've enjoyed this journey through the unexplained and the extraordinary, don't let the adventure end here. Click on the subscribe button to join our channel and become a part of a community where curiosity knows no bounds. Be the first to get alerted about our new videos, each one a gateway to fascinating tales and captivating mysteries. Remember, the unknown is just a click away. Subscribe now and never miss a moment of wonder.